Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Simple English Podcast. I'm Lisa, your host, and today we're diving into an exciting topic. Learn English fast. Tips to go from beginner to fluent. Whether you're just starting or already on your journey to fluency, this episode is packed with tips to help you learn English quickly and effectively. And to make this even more interesting, I've invited a special guest. Meet Daniel. He's an experienced English teacher who has helped thousands of students improve their English. As always, don't forget to check out the free PDF file in the comment section below to get the full transcript and vocabulary for this episode. Hi, Daniel. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Lisa. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here and share some practical tips with everyone.
Great to have you. Let's get started with a question that's probably on everyone's mind. Is it really possible to learn English fast?
Absolutely, Lisa. With the right methods and mindset, anyone can speed up their learning. But remember, it's not just about speed, it's about consistency and making learning a part of your daily life.
That sounds promising. Let's dive into those tips in the next section. So, Daniel, what's the first tip you'd give to someone who wants to learn English quickly?
My first tip is immersion. Surround yourself with English as much as possible. For example, change your phone's language to English. Watch movies or TV shows with subtitles, and listen to English music or podcasts.
That's a great start. I remember when I was learning French, I watched cartoons because the language was simpler and easier to understand.
Exactly, Lisa. And it's important to choose content that matches your level. If you're a beginner, stick to simple shows or even children's books. As you improve, you can move on to more complex material.
What about speaking? Many learners struggle with confidence.
You're right. Speaking can be intimidating. My advice is to start small. Talk to yourself in English. Describe your day, your plans, or even what you're cooking. It's a great way to practice without feeling judged.
That's brilliant. I also think finding a language partner can help.
Absolutely. Apps like HelloTalk or Tandem are great for connecting with native speakers or other learners. Even a short daily conversation can make a big difference.
What about grammar? Should learners focus on it early?
Grammar is important, but don't let it slow you down. Focus on communication first. For instance, if you say, "I go to store yesterday," people will understand you, even if it's not perfect. As you gain confidence, you can refine your grammar.
That's so encouraging. Do you have any tips for improving vocabulary?
Yes, learn words in context, not in isolation. For example, instead of just memorizing the word buy, learn phrases like, "I want to buy a new book," or "Where can I buy coffee?" This makes it easier to use the words in real-life situations.
Speaking of real life, what's a common mistake learners make?
One big mistake is fearing mistakes. Making errors is a natural part of learning. For example, I had a student who was afraid to speak because she thought her accent wasn't good enough. But once she started practicing, her confidence grew and her fluency improved.
That's so inspiring. Any final tips before we move on?
Yes, stay consistent. Even 10 minutes a day is better than doing nothing. Create a routine. Maybe listen to a podcast during breakfast or read an article before bed. Little habits add up over time.
That's excellent, Daniel. Let's go deeper into practical strategies. For example, what role does writing play in learning English?
Writing is a fantastic way to reinforce what you learn. It helps you think about grammar and vocabulary more carefully. Start with something simple, like keeping a daily journal in English. Write about your day, your feelings, or your plans. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's all about practice.
I love that idea. Writing can also help you identify gaps in your knowledge. For instance, if you're trying to describe an event but don't know the right words, it shows you what to focus on.
Exactly. And you can take it further by sharing your writing with others. Join online forums or communities where you can post your work and get feedback. Websites like LangCorrect are great for this.
What about reading? How can learners make the most of it?
Reading is a powerful tool for expanding your vocabulary and understanding sentence structure. Start with materials that interest you, maybe articles about your hobbies or short stories. If you come across new words, write them down and look them up later. But don't stop to translate every single word. Focus on understanding the overall meaning.
That's a good point. I think many learners feel they need to understand every word to make progress.
That's a common misconception. Even native speakers don't know every word they read. The goal is to get comfortable with the language, not to memorize every detail.
Speaking of goals, how important is goal setting in learning English?
It's crucial. Having clear, achievable goals keeps you motivated. For example, instead of saying, "I want to be fluent," set specific targets like, "I will learn 10 new words this week," or "I will have a 5-minute conversation in English every day."
That's so practical. And what about listening skills? Any tips for improving them?
Listening is one of the most important skills, and the best way to improve is through exposure. Listen to podcasts, audiobooks, or even news programs in English. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Focus on picking up keywords and the overall context. Over time, your comprehension will improve.
That's wonderful advice. Let's move on to our fun fact section now. Now, Daniel, it's time for our fun fact section. Did you know that English has the largest vocabulary of any language with over 1 million words?
That's fascinating. No wonder learners sometimes feel overwhelmed.
True, but here's the good news. You only need about 2,000 to 3,000 words to understand most everyday conversations.
That's right. And many of those words are used repeatedly. For example, words like get, make, and go are incredibly versatile and appear in countless phrases.
So, for learners, focusing on the most common words is a smart strategy.
Exactly. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Daniel, thank you so much for sharing all these amazing tips today. I'm sure our listeners feel inspired and ready to take their English learning to the next level.
Thank you, Lisa. It was a pleasure to join you, and I hope everyone feels more confident about their English journey. Remember, learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay consistent, enjoy the process, and celebrate your progress.
Absolutely. And for all our listeners, don't forget to practice what you've learned today. Try out some of Daniel's tips. Immerse yourself, speak daily, and set clear goals.
And don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake is a step closer to fluency.
That's a perfect note to end on. Thank you, Daniel, and thank you to everyone who tuned in today. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to the Simple English podcast.
And let us know in the comments what tips you're going to try or what works best for you.
We'll see you in the next episode. Until then, keep learning and keep shining. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone.